Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word.
Hey, NEPA.
Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light for my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we'll analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business. Hello and welcome to the Energy Outlook. My name is Wisdom Chap Jumbo, speaking to you live from Lagos, Nigeria. It's another exciting week on the show today as we discuss a topic that is dear to my heart. When you look at the energy sector, even though we are growing, there seems to be some skills gap. And the majority part of this skills gap is women. We don't see women gaining the skills well enough, maybe, or as some people will put it, we need to catch them young and train them. The energy sector is a male-dominated space, but women can also do much more. There are quite a number of amazing women, even from at every level, who are doing amazing work. But there's still room for more, as the gap is indeed very wide. And we want to catch them young and train them, equip them with the right skills so they also can contribute massively to the energy sector. Now, we're discussing today capacity building, closing the skills gap in the energy sector, clean energy space to be specific. And also another second part of our conversation is we want to analyze how do people buy their power. Buying power online is another very big challenge. There seems to be, quite a lot happening there. Sometimes you buy your energy and then you notice the transaction failed. How are we surviving with the many, banking issues when we try to buy our token? We are struggling with Band A, and then we have to struggle again on how to buy, that power for our Band A. But what is your alternative, and how is it easier to do that? Or how can we do that much easier? Sometimes I notice when I buy my power, I don't get the token on time. If I have an issue, it takes quite a long time to resolve. But how are we solving this problem? Two parts of our conversations today that we'll be having. But first, as always, let's bring you up to speed on what's trending within the energy sector. Amazing fuel price reduction. Joy is coming, and the manufacturers are clapping and singing. And they say joy is coming for them as fuel prices reduce. Just this week, the Director General of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Segun Ajayi Kadiri, sees the fuel or the price of fuel coming down to 800, and that's why it seems to be saying joy is coming. On Daily Post earlier this week, it was reported that Dangote Petroleum Refinery has slashed its petroleum monitor or motor spirit price, PMS, also known as fuel, to 840 naira per litre. And this is coming down from what it used to be around 880 naira per litre. Also, this is because the NNPC increased the pump price to 925 naira per litre in Lagos. There seems to be some competition, so Dangote has brought down the price to 840. And the manufacturers are saying, well, this is a good thing for us, as they think joy is coming. You may want to catch that report on Daily Post and people on the media. I'm looking to get the Director General of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria to come speak to us. What do they mean by joy is coming? I know they've been going through quite a lot of pain and issues with the fuel price. As you know, this is affecting their sector well enough. We're trying to reach him. We'll bring him to the studio to tell us joy is coming. What does it mean? Just hear their own part as it affects the energy sector. Quickly, a very important news that came up just 2 days ago. The AKK gas project, NNPC, says it achieved a major breakthrough crossing River Niger. The Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) has announced a major breakthrough in its ongoing $2.8 billion Ajaokuta Kaduna Kano gas pipeline project, confirming that contractors have successfully crossed the River Niger, a critical milestone that had previously posed significant technical and commercial challenge. The Group Executive Officer of NNPCL, Mr. Bayo Julare, disclosed this while speaking at the ongoing NOG Energy Week conference in Abuja on Tuesday earlier this week, where he announced to delegates and players within the sector that the NNPCL was excited to see that the project has successfully crossed the River Niger. But what does this mean for the energy sector? What does it mean for gas? This is a major project that many experts have said will bring economic prosperity to Nigeria. The federal government has invested quite a lot in this project. Next week, don't miss the episode on the show. I'm bringing an expert to tell us more on the AKK gas project. What does it mean for Nigerians? What are the economic importance? Let's break it down to make it make sense for us. So next week, don't miss the episode. We're bringing a guest to help us break down the AKK gas project to tell us more. And finally, Installer empowers women as certified solar technicians in a bold step up towards building a more inclusive green economy. Installer Technologies has launched the second cohort of its groundbreaking Install Her initiative, a clean energy training program that was designed to bring more women into Africa's fast-growing solar industry. This is the heart of our conversation today, as I have the CEO and founder of Installer in the studio. But we'll go on a short break. And when we come back, we'll come to her, as this is at the center of our conversation today. As I said in my opening statement, a lot is happening as we need to train and close the gap, between, the sector where we see the number of men and women. And Installer is saying they want to do more of this by 2030 with a bold ambition of 10,000 women to be trained. I'm not sure how they want to achieve this. Very ambitious. I know Chinwe. Chinwe is very ambitious with her planning. But we'll go on a quick break. And when we come back, we'll get to the conversation. Stay with us. Don't go away. Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we'll bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Yes, today we are discussing capacity building, closing the skills gap in the energy sector, and an amazing conversation we're going to have today. So stay glued to your TV. I have my guest in the studio. Her name is Chinwe Udu Davis. She's CEO and founder of Installer, my very good friend. Welcome to the show, Chinwe.
Thank you so much, Wisdom.
It's good to have you.
Yes, again, I always love talking to you. So
nice.
Thank you for having me.
Nice. So let's go straight into it. Amazing work. And me, I like to spot people when they're doing amazing work. And I bring them, say, come, let's talk. Yeah. There's a lot you are doing. That's why we have the Energy Outlook. Mm-hmm. So we hear of this training and empowerment for women you are doing. Tell us more about it. And I would like to really know what's the motivation, really. Yeah. And you have this bold ambition, like I read in the news, of 10,000. I want to understand what has led you into this.
All right. Thank you so much, Wisdom. Okay, so as you know, we started Installer, and which is, a platform to create the skills to support the growing energy transition we're seeing. So generally, we don't have enough workforce to match the investment coming into the sector. But when we started Installer and started aggregating the installers already
You already have
experienced.
like 1,000 installers.
So today we have 1,300.
1,300.
Yeah.
The last time we spoke, you had about 1,000.
So it's growing. It now has a life of its own. The database just keeps growing.
Okay.
So we first started by aggregating, even identifying the already qualified installers.
Okay.
And then we started training. But when we started the platform and started connecting, we were not seeing any women.
Okay.
Any.
So of the 1,000,
So
how many
yeah,
women?
so
Or the
at
1,300?
Yeah, at the time.
How many
even,
women?
Yeah, so we had less than 1% of the database were women. We just couldn't find, female technicians, and I'm talking about solar PV installers. There were no women. On our database, we had less than 1% women. And that was a statistics we couldn't ignore. So for me as a female founder, it wasn't sitting well with me. Every Friday, but we're paying out
You're
wages.
paying all men.
Yeah, all men, right? And we know unemployment is not only affecting men, it's also affecting women. And even generally, women are the ones more impacted by this, poor energy.
But the job of solar installation many will say it's quite tedious. To want to have a woman do it, maybe climb the roof, carry the solar panel, want to install it. Maybe that is why we're not seeing many women, turning up to be installers. Could that be? Do you agree?
So yes, part of it is that's also part of the reason.
Okay.
But if we take a step back, right,
Okay.
as a continent and particularly as a country, Nigeria, we did not prepare for the future, which is now upon us. This clean energy transition, we're not seeing this movement. So our educational institutions didn't even have any clean energy
Courses or
trainings, right? So the closest we had were electricians. So, and if you look at the number of electrical engineers, even I think generally in STEM, there are less women. I think there are less than 30% women.
So the problem is actually from the root.
Yeah, the problem is from the root, right? So this was why it was a data we couldn't ignore. We felt there was something we could do to contribute. And so, yes, women don't like climbing, or that's the perception, right? But even men need help. Even when you give a job to a male installer, he also needs help to lift the panel, right? He also doesn't go to site by himself. So why can you not also empower a woman to get help from a man as well? So this is just the whole push, why we wanted to do something. It wasn't sitting well with me as a female founder. We felt like we had an opportunity to bring more women to earn in the green economy. So what we did was to design a special curriculum to begin to break down some of these barriers. Fear of heights, for example. Okay, you don't have to climb the roof to also play in the green economy.
If they don't have to climb the roof,
if the man climbs the roof, there is configuration. So laying the panel is just one aspect of the whole entire installation.
So installing a solar system, there are many aspects.
There are many aspects to it as well, and oftentimes it's not just one person that can do the job as well. So you can also be part of a team, play other aspects of it as well, and also what we did with Install Hub particularly was to play in the SHS level, right? So where the handheld devices,
solar home system,
handheld devices, the solar lamps, the solar fans. Sometimes those systems are not so big. You don't have to really climb very high roof and all that. So that's what we're doing to bring in women into the sector, expose them at least at first level, and then they can begin to.
So you mentioned you designed a curriculum that accommodated in this training. Tell us about that curriculum.
Okay. So basically the curriculum, like I said, is to bring in women at first level, which is introducing them to the SHS installation, is solar fans, solar lanterns, TV, those smaller systems. Oftentimes you don't really need to go very high up the roof. So it's a 3 weeks program. They come in class 3 full weeks. both theoretical and hands-on practical. It also includes entrepreneurship. So that's
Okay.
the other aspect of the training.
Okay.
They either pivot into proper solar installation or they go into direct sales agency
Okay.
with solar companies where they can also sell products and a commission. Basically teach them how to create a solar business as well if you don't really want to install. But really the goal for us is sell and a commission and also install.
Okay.
You know, for those that are very audacious and
That's for those that want to
ambitious.
go into
Yeah,
sales. Because
yeah.
women are really good into selling
Exactly.
something.
So you
give a
can-
woman anything, she'll sell it.
So you can sell any commission, install, and get paid for install. So two streams of income on that one product.
Okay.
So that's the way, that's the vision. But we also understand that, okay, some people can choose to do one of it. Yeah, and that way feeds back to supporting the ecosystem by, you know, raising installers in several rural communities as well.
Now, this is the second time you're doing this training.
Yes.
And when you look at the sector itself, this is a big problem. Now, the interest is one. And then from the root, as we have established, the problem is from the root. Now, you've done this for 2 years. Where did you see the girls that joined the program?
Yeah.
How did you select them? Where did you find them? How did you get the right people that will have the interest
Yeah.
for what we're looking at?
Absolutely.
Where did you find them,
Yeah,
basically?
okay. So we've been sourcing, we've been advertising. Like, you know, you mentioned in your intro, the goal for us is 10,000 women across Africa by 2030. So we're constantly recruiting.
Okay.
And we're recruiting for interest first for us. So when we did cohort 1, it was interest. Are you interested? We have this platform, this avenue to show you how to earn money in the green economy. Come with interest.
Okay.
That was what we did in cohort 1. But the lesson from cohort 1 was because we're not only training, we're also asking ecosystem players to extend paid internship between 6 to 12 months. So learning continues. So you give internship, absorb them in your organization, place them in your technical department.
So first-
So learning continues.
continue.
We've given them the basic entry, then they continue learning.
So the
right?
first was interest.
The first was interest. So
Okay.
the learning from cohort 1, when we started trying to match for job placement, was solar companies were only beginning to select girls with STEM background.
Oh,
Because they're like, oh yeah, if she's going to be a technician, I want her to have proud technical
knowledge. So she
And
must
that-
have done either electrical,
engineering,
mechanical,
yeah, anything
engineering.
around STEM, physics.
Okay.
Yeah, they felt like, and I don't blame them, right?
Okay.
They felt like those type of people are simulated better. Their time mentoring during this job placement would not be a waste,
Okay,
right?
okay.
So we now took on that feedback
Okay.
for cohort 2. So cohort 2, we also added that layer, passion, and then proud STEM.
So was it a challenge finding?
It was.
It's-
It
okay,
was. It was
okay.
a challenge. So we thought, oh, okay, 100% STEM, but we couldn't find. And then also, really, I didn't also like it that we were also eliminating a few people. Because if I had passion and I want to push myself, why? Because I don't have proud STEM, right? So we dropped it to say, okay, 80% STEM, and then we'll allow 20% bucket for other people. So yeah, interest people, we have a lot of people on the database applying, but then we sieve, right? We select, we look at, because at the end of the day, it is a training. You have to have some
How long was the
proud-
training?
So it's a 3 weeks training.
3 weeks.
3
weeks enough. If they need to learn something, then
Oh
they
yeah,
need to go.
so 3 weeks is enough for them to get the basic foundation, which is why we add on the job placement where they do internship to continue learning. Did you get?
So, but
Yeah.
we need to address the major gap here.
Okay.
Like you said, it was a challenge to even find them because finding women in STEM, engineering, mechanical. Because if you go to our universities, in a class
There are
of
even less
100,
women.
in a class of 100
Yeah.
in the electrical engineering department, you might find only 5 or maybe
Absolutely.
10. I don't know what the data is looking like now,
Yeah.
but from way back our time
Yeah.
till now, it used to be what used to be the thing. So
Yeah.
how do we address this major? Now I'm moving to the sector itself. How do we manage this problem? Because what I'm seeing is quite a number of women are rising in leadership level. you are seeing different women taking charge, you know, at the leadership level, getting to C-level. But most of them have been there for quite a long time. And now we are seeing that there's a gap in the middle and at the bottom now that we're not seeing more women coming. How do we solve this problem?
So wisdom, I think there's a gap everywhere.
Okay.
And sometimes, in fact, in renewable, when we talk about skills, there's a gap even with the men.
Okay.
Generally, we don't have enough workforce to match the demand.
Okay.
Number one, 600 million people on this continent without electricity, right?
Wow.
We don't even have the workforce. So there is a gap both for men and women, but particularly the women. And like you said, it stems from the root problem. What do we do? I think awareness is beginning to be created across the various channels. There are more push for women to get into STEM. I think even the solar sector itself is renewable, you know, expanded, is also beginning to gain attention from the government. You open every news, there's something
There's
about
something on clean energy.
on clean
Investment has
energy,
also increased
climate,
into the sector.
I just came back from Cape Town. It was climate financing. There's so many conversations happening. A lot of there's also so I spoke at the Youth in Energy Summit.
Oh, nice!
In Cape Town. Yeah. So it was just, you know, talking to young people. A lot of people don't even know there is a sector like this that exists.
Really?
Yeah.
With all the information on the space,
so many
people don't know.
Still don't know. A lot of people still know the traditional
They should watch the Energy
sectors,
Outlook.
computer. A lot of people, So, I mean, I remember young people came up to me. So, okay, how can I'm currently studying computer science. How can I key in? I'm studying
with all
data
this information,
science.
we put that every day.
Absolutely. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my point is, there's deliberate efforts now
Okay.
to put that out there as well. So I think things will begin to change. And for installer, the goal for us is also to contribute to that effort, generally as well, and do our own bit to move the needle a little bit.
So you were telling me offline that today was your graduation of those girls from the training for the cohort 2.
Yeah.
How many are they? And really, how did you? This might sound like it's an intensive work. Did you get support? How much support did you get? What's next for the girls?
Yeah, okay. So yes, we did get support. Of course, we were a startup, as you know, and it is expensive.
Startup that has money.
Well, not yet. Soon. I mean, designing the curriculum, paying the facilities, hiring the facilities, the solar kits, so many things. It takes a lot. So we constantly seek for support to continue to reach 10,000. We need more support.
Okay.
So for this cohort, this batch, what we're doing is a batch of 100 women. We've started with the first 20 in Lagos, but it's a batch of 100 women that's been funded by Acumen. So Acumen did give us some grants to train these 100 women. So we've done 20 in Lagos. We would do 35 in Abuja. We'll do another 35 in Ibadan. And
for
then
the rest of the year.
20. Yeah, so it's a program that should run for the next 12 months.
Okay.
And we have several funders lined up, different phases. We are also looking to launch in Storehouse in Nairobi. We also have a funder who's interested to,
big dreams.
Support. We're serious when we say we want to do 10,000 wisdom. We're very serious. So it's not, when we say 10,000, it's not only in Nigeria.
Nice.
We are we're building a Pan-African business, including.
But what is the need for any like Acumen now that supported you? What is the need for them?
It's impact investment.
Okay, just
impact
investment.
investment. Yeah.
Okay.
So there are those impact funds that are directed at different things. It could be increasing livelihood for women. It could be education for young girls. So you just need to find those funds. They're already there. You need to find them, fit into their investment thesis.
Well, while preparing for the show today, I found out that you sort of set up a training center as part of this, and I thought that was really amazing. This training center, is it just going to drive this Install Her initiative, or there are more trainings you're looking out for?
Okay, so our business model training is a big component part of what we do.
Okay.
You know, our model is very simple, is to train and connect installers. Like I said, there's a gap. Even with the guys, there's a gap,
There's a
right?
gap.
Even with the existing installers, there's a gap because the solar technology is also increasing every day. So it means even with the existing workforce, they need to follow the trend. So the knowledge-based business is something we are also into for solar. And this is what our training center is for, is to train installers, both boys, girls, men and women. So we've launched our first physical training center here, right here in Lagos. We plan to do 3 more in other regions. So we'll have one in the north.
Okay.
And another one down south as well. So that's the plan for the training center.
Okay. Looking ahead now, I asked earlier that what's the future for the girls, especially for cohort 1.
Yeah.
Cohort
Cohort 2.
Cohort 2 now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at cohort 1 and looking at cohort 2.
Yeah.
What's their future? Where are they going
Yeah.
next? Where for cohort 1
Yeah.
especially?
Yeah.
And then the broader question is, we have a gap we need to close
Yeah.
for the sector. 10,000 may not be enough.
Yeah.
Beyond what you're doing, what are the other things that you feel like sector-wide, maybe policy-wide, that needs to happen so that we can majorly close this gap? This space is male-dominated, either ways we look at it. But we know there are many women who can do amazing things.
Absolutely.
Being in this sector for quite a while now, I see, like I said before, there are more women we're seeing like yourself at that C level. We're seeing that they're there, but we're not seeing more coming from, from behind. And I know in March I had a series of conversations on the show with women to say there's a lot happening. Where do we need to come in? So, so my question to you is, what first the future of those girls?
Yeah.
Where is it headed to? Sector-wise, what do we need to do? Policy, you know, is it government? Is it what needs to happen for us to see that gap close?
Yeah. Okay. So for the girls, for cohort 1. Our impact numbers were able to match 70% to job placement. So 70% of the girls, cohort 1, we trained 31 women, and 70% were successfully matched to different companies.
They're in their jobs right now.
They're in their jobs right now. They've even moved on. We have some girls who after their internship, have now playing roles as a solar design engineers.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of them. So Coolbox took some girls, Wana Energy. One of the girls, she's now a Rensource, you know. So we're following up with their story,
nice.
You know. Another one even got a scholarship to study further in renewable energy PhD, fully funded by the World Bank.
Amazing.
So that's for cohort 1. For cohort 2, we have reached out to industry partners. In fact, we got massive response from the RIAN community. Because we did reach out to the companies on the RIAN plan. We're part of RIAN membership, and it's incredible the response we got. Like people started DMing.
Yeah, because RIAN, they have about 100 members or more, I think. More than 100.
Almost 300.
300, okay.
Yeah. So they people like, oh, great work. We want to extend, you know, so many people, even just as I was sitting in my car, one said, oh, we're female-led mini grid business. We also want to
female-led mini grid business.
I
want
was
to talk to her.
I know, right? She was like, she reached out. She was like, we want to give internship.
I never had female mini grid business.
Oh yeah, but there is so say energy now. It's female-led.
Okay, female-led.
Abiba, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Abiba is.
Yeah.
Oh,
they do mini grid,
okay, that's true.
That's
true.
So but
she has been on the show before.
Yeah. She reached out and she said, oh, we want. So we got massive response. So that, like I said, we do this 3 weeks training, and we actively find this job placement, and so that's the next step. Place them. Hopefully, we'll place all 20, and then we'll follow through with their journey. And then, but like I said, for this time we're doing 100. We're going next to Abuja. We'll do one in the southwest in Ibadan.
So the other part of my question to say sector-wise,
policy,
what needs to happen?
Yes. So I think the government is beginning to shine some light. There are a couple of conversations happening. We're seeing active. So they are bringing all the players, the decision makers on the table. I was at the UNDP office the other day. You know, I think the right people who move the needle now have attention to the, you know, for what's going on, you know, different things that should happen. And I think in the next 12 to 18 months, we'll see a lot of changes. But, you know, like I was saying to the girls at our closing ceremony, you also have to take the opportunity, right? When people, all of this work we're doing, if the girls don't show up, if they don't also take on we're not going to go pull them out of their
I also feel there needs to be a
houses.
drive to maybe universities, you know, to really encourage girls. Maybe some of them who are
Introduce
doing
those courses,
engineering, but they are not, you know, confident in themselves. Well, that they need to, you know, go show them what they
so
can
we're
achieve.
we're gonna do that next. After Install Her, we are also planning another type of initiative where we're going lower.
Nice.
Because right now we're targeting, you know, graduates, you know what I mean? So the plan now is to go lower, even up to SSC level, you know,
Get
begin
them
to
ready
create that,
from
get
that
them
point.
ready, begin to create that. So yeah, that's the plan.
Amazing. Always fun chatting with you, Chinwe, and well done with all the work.
Thank you so much,
like I always say, you
Wisdom.
have big dreams.
I do.
I remember our first conversation back then on radio when it was not an idea that was coming.
Yeah. We just started. It was just an idea.
And now I'm happy to hear 1,300
Yes.
installers on Installer.
Yeah.
Is progress.
Yeah,
and I
it
really
is.
must give you all the kudos.
And we just moved into our own office. We're so excited.
So many good things happening. I should come visit
you
sometime
You should.
to see how that. But well
should.
done, Chinwe. Thank you
so
for
much.
chatting with me, and wish you all the best as always. And we'll continue to encourage you. You're doing great work for the sector. I don't know, when we heard they wanted to ban importing of solar panels, you came to mind. I'm like, what would Chinwe think about this?
Yeah, but I thought it was a good thing.
It was a good thing.
Oh yeah, by
Are
the
we
way-
ready for that?
So
Do
from
we have the market
So
in-house?
some company also reached out to me and said, oh, they are solar manufacturers based right here in Lagos. They
Really?
also wanted to extend internship. I don't know if I should mention them, but
we should talk about that.
Yeah, they are here. I mean,
I only know one. I'm not hearing more.
I could feed some of this information to you, and you could, you know, invite them to the show. Yeah,
I would like to
because
talk to manufacturer, really.
Oh, yeah. So I think what the government was doing was just to force the manufacturers to import locally, rather to assemble locally, manufacture locally rather than importing, because we're losing jobs for our people when we import as well, yeah.
All right, thank you so much. We'll keep following your work, but
Thank
wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
You know me. What is hot thing? I call you back again.
No problem. Thank you,
All
Wisdom.
right.
It's always a pleasure.
Always.
Thank you.
All right, we go on a quick short break, and when we come back, we'll go to the second part of our conversation today. Payments, the struggles. How do I buy power? Band A is expensive already. Why am I struggling to buy it? So stay with us. Don't go. I will be right back.
Nigeria, by extension Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, lives a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Life is made up of moments, some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlights. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
All right, welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. This is the Energy Outlook Live. So we switch to the next conversation where we are going to discuss or explore critical issues of access, reliability, and of course, how do we pay for our power? There are many issues around this. Sometimes, like I said before, you pay and the next you get transaction failed. You don't even know how you get your token back. And there are many people solving this problem within the space. My guest is Adeolu Awokola. He's head of revenue at BuyPower. So he's my guest today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
We have heard about BuyPower a lot. I use it sometimes. I will not lie. But I know about BuyPower, and there are many ways we can buy power now. I mean, that name of the company is very strategic. You just put it in our mouth without us knowing. But what I want to discuss with you today is there are many challenges, and what we want to, with this issue of buying power band A is already expensive. And when you want to buy, it's so painful that sometimes you lose money, you don't get to see your token. There are many issues around that. So my first question is, how do we solve this issue of transaction failures or challenges with buying power when we want to buy power for our meters?
Okay. Because of what I do, the first answer to your question or to the statements you have made is that you should always use BuyPower. Okay. Then, secondly, to address the how to always make sure that there is no transaction failure. Yeah. I think that what we should be discussing is how we can improve uptime to, let's say, 99%. Okay. Because as far as it's technology, there would be failures at times, and there are different levels where failure could happen. Okay. It could happen from your banking end. Your bank is not sending the money to get the tokens. It could be happening from the service provider end, which is the disco at this point. They could also be having a vending downtime, but that has critically, seriously reduced over the years. So take a vending system like just a banking application too. The same way a bank has a core banking application, a disco would also have what we call a vending system. And sometimes there could be a downtime. Okay. And that's one of the two major reasons where people do not get payment for electricity successful at every point. Yeah.
Paying for electricity, as I said before, can be sometimes frustrating. It's a real challenge, and you've tried to give more context to that, but the issues, still linger. So now that comes back to you, which of course made the company bring up the solution. Yeah. But my question now is to maybe challenge that reason why you set up in the first place, because now there seems to be many means to buy it. Okay. And I get a call all the time that, you have not bought power for a long time now. What is the problem? Yeah. But I tell them, look, I have other means to buy. You know. So what is that a unique problem that still needs to be solved?
Yes, there is. So many people ask me, and it's also a genuine question that, okay, why would I use your platform over any other platform? My platform being buypower.ng. So buypower.ng was actually created to solve the problems of electricity payments. So imagine the efforts we have put into, let me say, laser focus that we have put into making sure people can easily buy electricity. One thing that you do, so for example, if you use your bank, the only access that you have to buy electricity is debiting through your bank account, right?
Yes.
But on BuyPower, you have different channels in which you can pay. You can use your bank, you can use transfers, you can actually take a loan to buy, you can fund your BuyPower wallet and also buy. Funding your wallet means that you are actually trying to have a budget for electricity monthly. And you can, with the advent of Band A, that means that electricity is now a serious budget line in your expense every month. So you can actually keep money aside on the BuyPower app to buy electricity. Another reason BuyPower is different is, take yourself as an example. If you have a challenge, let's take an example of when there were upgrades and there were meter upgrades and you buy through your bank. You're trying to load a token, it's not working. You call the up center of a bank, she doesn't even understand what a KCT upgrade is. As I still speak to you, you might really not understand what a KCT upgrade is. But for everybody you speak to on the BuyPower call center, or is a professional in energy payments and all the problems that energy customers would have. So they understand the context, they understand the problem. So when you are having a problem, you are speaking to a professional. Unlike when you are calling your bank, you will hear, oh, we'll get back to you in 2 days, in 3 days. It's not because they don't want to solve your problem. It's because you are not speaking to a professional that understands the issues. So we understand the issues. We also do a lot of first-line support for all the discos that we work with. Many problems that customers...
Did you go into partnerships with like the discos?
Yes, we are into partnerships with the disco. Apart from partnerships of helping them improve revenue, the partnership also involves making sure that their customers are happier. So many of the first-line support issues that many disco customers would have, BuyPower can solve them.
Interesting. So since you maybe you're in partnership with them and you know some of these issues, with the Band A and Band B wahala, did you experience a surge in people buying power or not? Was there like an increase, like people now buy power more, people now buy less? Because we are trying to find a balance in Band A, Band B, Band C, if that is helping the sector in itself.
Yeah, I actually think it's helping the sector. I wouldn't say our growth is totally, or we have growth totally based on the fact that people are now spending more.
Okay.
I would say that naturally, because of our value proposition to customers, we naturally get as much as 50,000 new customers every
1 every
1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 every 1 progress on as much as 50,000 new customers every month. So it's we cannot totally put our